bus commuters around the country are likely to be delayed getting to work this morning. Thousands of bus drivers from various trade unions have stopped work, demanding a 12% wage increase. The National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa has urged employers to reopen negotiations to avert the strike. Now, operators such as Reavaya, Patco, Autopax, Golden Arrow, Gauteng Coaches, Greyhound and MyCity will be affected. Metro bus drivers in Johannesburg will, however, be working as normal. Government has called on bus transport unions and employers to reach common ground.
There is no way in which our buses, Translots, city to city, can cope with the pressure in case the other bus drivers who are working for the private bus owners go on strike. We are not going to cope. We are talking of a huge fleet of buses that will be affected.
Labour Union NUMSA says the bus driver strike will continue indefinitely. Acting spokesperson Pagamile Hlubi says their biggest demand is an improvement in drivers' working conditions.
You have bus drivers who work 16-hour shifts. You have bus drivers who are forced to sleep on a bus if they travel long distance. Now, let's go back to the issue of the 16-hour shift. I don't have to tell you the kind of danger this poses to the life of the driver himself, as well as the commuters and the passengers and the motorists on the road, having a driver behind the wheel for 16 hours. Added to that, the fact that bus companies have no problem with forcing employees to take long-distance drives and forcing them to sleep on a bus. You have a situation where workers are earning less than 5,000 Rand a month. That money is not sufficient for them to raise their families. It's not sufficient for them to take care of their families. So effectively what we're fighting for here is for social justice and equality.
Well, let's take you live to Park Station. That's where we find our reporter, Zikhona Tshona. She'll have the latest for us. Give us a sense of how exactly it's affecting proceedings there. Good morning to you, Zikhona. You're at Park Station. That is really part of the heart of the public transport sector, especially where buses are concerned. What are you seeing there? How many have heeded the call to stay away from work today?
Well, it seems certainly a lot of bus drivers, Kathy, have not turned up for work today. A lot of frustrated commuters inside. We've been speaking to them since about 6 o'clock this morning. A woman actually told me that she came yesterday at 7 p.m. when she found out there was going to be a strike on the news. She came to find out how her bus ticket was going to be affected and she was told that everything will be fine. Come to this morning when her bus is supposed to leave at 8:30 this morning. She's still sitting there. She's actually had to book another bus because she says she has to get home. This is the time for her to be with her family and her children. She's traveling to KZN and everybody at home is excited to see her today. She's also saying that the bus company that she had booked her first bus ticket with has not really been forthcoming in terms of how she's going to get her money back, because now having to fork out more money to book an alternative bus ticket means that she's lost the money that she paid on that ticket that she booked a month ago. So certainly a lot of frustration on the ground. I've seen people saying that they will now have to take taxis. But there are some bus companies that are saying that people can go to the shop where they bought their bus tickets from and get the cash back from the money.
Zikhona, this happens, of course, just on the eve of what is a very busy period. Many people would have been heading out to KZN, as you said, and even to Limpopo for the annual Moria pilgrimage. To what extent are we expecting to see the inconvenience, really, as the day goes on, especially going into Thursday?
Well, Kathy, the bus terminals are empty. We've basically seen about 10 buses since we've been here, since about 6 o'clock this morning, and certainly I've been to Park Station around this time, and it's been busier than this, and there have been way more buses than this. You can certainly see which companies are missing from action, and commuters are definitely getting frustrated inside because they're saying they need to be at home around this time. They want to be at church. They want to hear the pastors preaching. For example, and was saying she's trying to the Eastern Cape. Children are here with their families. They're expecting to be home for the Easter weekend. So there's a lot of frustration. But the management of the park station is saying it's trying to calm people down, trying to make sure that they find alternative transport in terms of going to the taxi rank and rather catching a taxi instead of catching a bus home. But it's certainly disappointing because people are saying that they booked yesterday evening and they were not told when they were booking that there will be a strike today. So they got the money to be able to go home for the weekend yesterday. They booked their buses yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening. Come today, they are not able to be at home by tomorrow, which is what they were hoping for.
Zikhona, are you seeing taxi drivers try and also cash in on the moment? I know that right behind that park station where you are is also a taxi rank. Are you seeing that they're trying to take advantage of the moment and really make some extra money too?
Not yet, Kathy. It's quite early on, so not a lot of buses are supposed to have been taking people out of Johannesburg, but we've seen people voluntarily asking people to help them carry their bags or their luggage to the debris taxi rank so they can actually catch a taxi home. But certainly a lot of people are very frustrated about the fact that they'll be missing their usual church ceremonies back at home around this time. And we've seen people walking down those stairs, in particular going to the Bree taxi rank, which is down the road from here, to make sure that they are able to catch a taxi. I've actually just spoken to a woman before this crossing who told me that she's going to stay there. Her bus is only at 6 p.m. this evening, but she's staying at the station to make sure, to try and see rather if other buses are going to be traveling in and out of Johannesburg CBD, so that she can decide before her bus time that she must rather go catch a taxi instead of just arriving here at about 5 o'clock and then finding out that her bus is not going to be here. So she's been here since about 8 o'clock waiting for a bus that is intended to leave at 6 p.m. And she says she wants to make the decision earlier on if she needs to take a taxi or not, because she has to be at home this weekend.
All right, see, that's where we'll leave it for now. Zikhona Tshona is out in Park Station. She's monitoring the situation with the buses for us. More from her throughout the day too.